The editor lets you manipulate images. You can resize them. You can add a border around them. You can actually increase the canvas size and add call-outs. You can add hotspots to the images. But the only way hotspots will work is if you then take the graphic and put it into an HTML or some other compatible format that will allow hotspots to be available. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about today that you can do is to add stamps and call-outs to images. So here's some stuff about stamps. Some of them are not resizable, some of them are. But the ones down here, these little number ones and the A's and these numbers, any of the numbered ones are not resizable. They come in a couple of different size options, and so you just have to choose which size option that you want to use. But some of them are resizable. Every time you click on the page, you add a stamp if you've got the stamp button selected. And then once you release your mouse button, the stamp is wherever you put it and it's not movable. So what you need to do is to keep your thumb down on the mouse key and move the stamp around, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, and then release it once you're happy with the position. So let's go back into Captivate here, and I'm going to open up an image. That's not a good one. Let's see. We'll use this one. So here's the stamp tool, and what you do is you click the stamp tool and then you click the down arrow here, and you can see you can have your own stamps, or you can get stamps that come from TechSmith. These I downloaded earlier, and they come from TechSmith as a package, and then the three below that are standard images. So let's go ahead and look at accents up here, and I'm going to add, I'll just add this one. So until I click, I can place it anywhere. I'm going to place it right here, and now that my mouse is down, I can move it around wherever I want, and when I let go, then, then the next time I click, it adds a new one. And so what I have to do is undo the image if I want to get rid of it. Some of them are resizable, and so you can click here and then you can make it a larger size if you want. And so that's pretty much all there is about stamps. The other thing about stamps, though, is that here are the instructions again for how to actually get them. You used to be able to download them directly from a link within stamps. And so if I clicked here, down at the bottom it says download more stamps. But recently this stopped working, and now you have to go to this link here, and I'm going to go through this and I'm going to add some stamps real quick and just show you how easily it is to do that. So when you come to the page, it shows you a whole lot of groups of different kinds of stamps that you can use. And oh, here we go. So I want to select some of these. Some of these are not resizable, as I said earlier. I like these, so I'm just going to click download, and you have to click run, and you have to click run again. It's pretty easy and it's pretty quick to get them in there, but it just requires that you hit run a couple of times and install, and I've got those directions in the PowerPoint presentation, so you don't need to write them down or anything if you want to download the presentation. And it just takes a minute. A long minute. But it's pretty automatic, and you don't have to close out Snagit in order to use the stamps. So I've clicked finish. I'm going to go back into, let's see, I'm going to go into Snagit in the wrong place. I'm going to go into the editor. I'm going to click the down arrow, and you can see it's now available for me to use. And if I click this and put it out here, that one's really big, and that one is a resizable one. You know, I think they've made these resizable just recently, because you didn't used to be able to resize the numbered ones at all. Anyway, that's how you use stamps. And here are the instructions for downloading them. And here are some groups of stamps. This is called hand-drawn, so you can download this if you want. This is circle stamps, rounded stamps. And now on to Transparencies. And Snagit doesn't seem to want to have really good instructions about Transparencies in their help system. So it took me a few tries to come up with all of the steps in order to do this. The most important thing you want to know about Transparencies, well, number one, a transparency allows you to see a different background around a certain color. So, for instance, right now I have a bluish frame around my graphic image, around my slide, and a transparency would allow me to make that color transparent so that if I put an image of the slide on something else, whatever the background was there would show through. And what you need to know is that there are common file formats. They do not all support transparency. I usually use GIF images, and so I will capture a JPEG. I have to save it as a GIF image before I can do a transparency on any of the colors in the file. And so, in addition to GIF, PNG supports transparency, TIFF supports it in SNAG files. And here are the instructions for doing it, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. So this is not a good image to do that on. I'm going to pick this image. I have to save it first, select it as a GIF image. I don't have to actually save it, but I have to do the Save As screen. And then once it's selected as Save As type GIF or any supported image, then this information over here comes up so that you can use transparency. You want to make sure you select that. And then the transparent color is below, and the default is this really strange magenta. But you would click the tool, and what I'm going to do is select black as the background that I want to make transparent. It automatically changes it to this checkerboard effect, and that's how you know that it's transparent. And now if I were to save this and then open it up in an HTML page that had a different background, everywhere the checkerboard effect would be that new background. So I'm not going to save this, but I'm just showing you how to do it. And like I said, there are the instructions. If you want to download the presentation, you can get that. And here are the actual steps. The next thing that I want to talk about is a really cool tool, and it's called the Image Gallery web page, and it allows you to take a group of images and to display them very quickly in a web format without having to code them in HTML and without having to have like thumbnails and full versions. It'll do that all for you. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now, but these are the general instructions for doing that. So what I want to do is I want to find a group of files, and so I'll use these exciting files here. I'm going to select all of them. There. And then when I right-click, you'll see the option to create a web page. And so I'll click that, and I'm going to call it, I don't know, When Stuff. And there are several options that you can choose from, or themes. I'm going to click thumbnails in this case. And then it allows you to select from textures that appear here. You can select no background at all. You can select solid colors or textures. I'm going to just select this one. It's one of the options. And then I'm going to click Next. And you can also add more files, download files in order to do this. And you could add texture files by